You're listening to JFDI with the two Lauras. And in this episode, we're talking about how to get your clients and your own business ready for Christmas. Jingle bells, jingle bells. I'm going to edit that out. Oh.
Their names are the same, good friends they became. Together they put their brains and magic happened. I'm talking about the two Lauras. They'll be your biggest supporters. What they're selling you'll need more of. I'm talking about the two Lauras. I'm talking about the two Lauras.
So Christmas is a pretty hectic time for a lot of businesses. Obviously, there'll be businesses that don't operate any differently at Christmas, but this podcast is still relevant. There are some businesses where obviously like a large part of their business happens around Q4. So it can be pretty manic when we as ourselves also have manic Q4s, discordity, find Christmas presents, seeing all the family all condensed in. You'll also want time off to Turkey, New Year's, jazz. So we thought we would come together and share our tips for how we can manage this crazy busy time that is Christmas. So Laura Moore, what do we do first? How do we get ourselves ready? Whenever you're listening to this podcast, if you haven't already started preparing for Christmas, then start preparing now. And I'm not talking about going and starting the Christmas shopping. I'm talking about with your clients. Because if they're listening in January, then maybe you can start planning for next Christmas. Just have this in your life. This is what you need to do. You just need to remember that between sort of October and January, there are so many holidays, events, promotional days that potentially your clients will want to participate in. So I'm talking things like Halloween, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, obviously, last postage dates, things like Thanksgiving today. Yeah, Thanksgiving, all of those things, depending on where you are in the world, like Hanukkah, all of those things will all impact what you're doing with your clients and what they're doing with their customers. So you need to have a conversation with your clients now. So which of those sort of events, awareness days, holidays they want to participate in, and if they're going to do any specific promotions for any of those. So get those down as soon as possible. Don't wait until a few days before Black Friday and ask them what deals they're doing next week, because that's too late. You need to get on people's radars and you need to obviously have all of that stuff in your plans. And if you've got all of that in your mind, then you can plan your content. You can start deciding your strategy. You can start scheduling things so that nearer the time, it's not so hectic. So I would definitely start with that. Even if your client isn't in e-com and they're not selling specific products that are related to Christmas, there still might be things that they want to do for those events. And on the flip side, if you've got clients who don't participate in things like Black Friday, and because some people are quite anti-Black Friday, aren't they? So you might want to flip it and you might want to be doing charity appeals or things like that instead. So you can still take advantage of those days, but you might want to flip them around so that you're doing it in a different way. So have a little think about how all of those days are going to impact on the strategy you're working on. I think it's the first thing. What would you say?
Yeah. So I would say we've all been there, haven't we? When clients will give us last minute demands. Oh, could you do this? Could we edit this? Actually, can we pop in something about this? Which is fine. And I get that. Like we always come up with ideas, don't we? After we've agreed certain things. But so I would be saying to my clients, and I will be saying to my clients, this is your last day to get me changes. So I will agree our approach. We will agree our content angles and strategies. And I will say to them, if you're going to make any changes, I need that by X date. So that means that once that date has gone past, your content won't need to be changed, especially if you're going to take time off Christmas and you've got content scheduled to go out over that Christmas period. The last thing you need to be doing on Christmas Day is jumping on and deleting posts that shouldn't have gone out because they've changed their mind, etc. So set deadlines kind of now and say to your clients, by the 15th of December, I need to have everything, and we will need to sign off on those content or whatever those things are. So I think set deadlines is really important.
Yeah. And I think on the same note, when it comes to deadlines, like get the deadlines from clients, like postal dates, for example.
and then make sure that those sorts of deadlines and dates are communicated with to your audience and your customers. So you don't get people kicking off because they'd missed the last order date, or their parcel didn't arrive in time for Christmas because they ordered it one day too late or what have you. Make sure that you've got all of those dates in advance and share them with your audience.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea. Another top tip is to be really honest and transparent and communicate with your clients about what actually are your working hours over the Christmas period. Now, this is why it's not good to be charging people by the hour, because if a client has said, you're going to work on my social media and I'm going to pay you 5 hours a week, they will therefore expect you between Christmas and New Year to do your 5 hours a week, or they'll have you pay for December. Whereas I say to my clients, because they pay me a set monthly amount that is bespoke to them, I will say to them, I have done all of that Christmas week in advance. It's all scheduled. And then you can have a conversation about engagement and being active and that whole customer service element of it. So I'll say, I'm setting all my content up in advance, but I'm planning on not working Christmas Day and all the bank holidays. Is this okay? And he's like, he generally will be, yes, that's fine, because they close for Christmas. He also makes sure that they have other people available on the accounts as well if I ever go on any kind of holiday, in case there are customer queries. And I'll say I'll spend a little bit of time just monitoring the inbox, because I don't mind doing that. It doesn't bother me. But obviously, if you're wanting to completely take the week off, you need to be having those kind of conversations with your clients now. And yeah, stop charging hourly if that's what you're doing for the new year.
Definitely. And I think another one is to remember that all this planning doesn't end on Christmas Day or Boxing Day or whatever. You need to start planning for January as well, because coming back after Christmas in marketing can be a massive slog. Just from a personal perspective, trying to get back into work when you've eaten all that turkey and you've, had a couple of chocolate oranges, that might just be me. That's hard, isn't it? Getting everyone back into their routines, all of that stuff is difficult. But also on social, it's difficult to kind of get that momentum back. So start thinking about your content strategy for January. Write down any ideas that you might have. Plan your content, maybe if you can, so that first week back isn't really difficult for you and you've still got good stuff going out. And make sure that your clients know that you're thinking ahead, so that if they've got any business goals for the new year, January, what have you, you already know what they are. They're on your mind and you're planning for those. And I think as well, like, this is slightly different, but from a personal perspective in terms of your business, have a think about what you want to do in your business next year. Like, what are you going to be investing in? What do you want to learn? Do you want to do any courses? Do you want to join any memberships? Are you going to change who you're working with? You're going to offer a new service, all of that thing. So think about what you're going to be doing in January too.
Yeah, I think on that note as well, all of the tips that we've just shared is obviously about how we can work with our clients and how we can schedule our content and get through that Christmas period. But like 99% of what we've just discussed is completely relevant to you and your business too. So set yourself some deadlines. When are you going to be open at Christmas? When are you going to be closed? Where are you going to communicate that on your social media that you're going to be taking a few days off? How can people contact you over the Christmas period, or can they not? All of those things, including scheduling content over that Christmas period. So you have got content going out. Plan what content you want to have. Do you want to come back in January with an amazing offer or new service or something? Treat all of this for your business as well as your clients' businesses.
Yeah. And I think also in this run up to Christmas is a really good time to position yourself as the expert, because you can be sharing so many useful tips and ideas for people to make their marketing easier, because the chance of them potentially hiring you between now and Christmas are probably low. But if you've helped them in that marketing, when they come back in the new year and they are drained from everything they've had to do and they are ready now to just hand it over, you're going to be the one they remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I've taken on quite a few clients around this time. They just realise they can't do it all, and they know that the building up to Christmas is just going to get really busy and they just need to offload something. And so I've picked up social media and ads clients right up until Christmas. And I have picked up clients, what you're just saying, at Christmas time, and they'll say, look, I can't do this again. I need help. Can you help me? And sometimes the clients I've picked up have just been short-term, kind of 6 to 8 weeks to get them to Christmas. Others, I've had clients that have come to me in like the November time, and I've worked with them for 12 months or so in the end because it worked and they wanted to keep that. So it is a good time if you're interested, especially kind of e-commerce, if that's kind of your area. I think this is a good time, but also think of other industries that get really busy. If you're interested in like hair and beauty, like there are lots of industries that do get super busy around this time of year. So if they interest you, then get some content out there that talks directly to that particular audience, because you can win clients off the back of stressed, overworked business owners. You could be their knight in shining armor, the angel that lands on their Instagram. Yeah, there are Christmas top tips to get you through Christmas. But I do think it's really important to say you are entitled to have a break. And if any client says, tough, you need to be working Christmas Day, and if you don't want to, then you need to have a long, hard think about whether they're the kind of clients that you want to continue working with. Because there will be businesses out there who do want to have a presence, obviously, on social. We don't all close for Christmas. Not all religions will obviously close for Christmas. So there may well be lots of businesses out there who will expect you to still be delivering. So you do have to have these honest conversations. And like I have in my terms of business that I will not work any bank holidays. So they know from the start that I'm not working any bank holidays. So I've kind of set that boundary right from the start. But obviously, if you don't do that, then it may make the conversations slightly more awkward further down the line. So if you haven't got that mentioned in your terms of business, then it might be worth adding that in getting them to kind of sign it or acknowledge it.
So I really hope that was useful. We are going to pop a link in the show notes to a blog which covers everything that we've talked about today. So you can come back and have a look at that and tick everything off of your list to get ready for Christmas. And we will see you in another episode.